All right, YouTube, thank you for coming in today. It is March 24th, 2022, and we got a quick update for you guys. Before we get into it, once again, thank you so much for joining this community. Over 30,000 followers here on YouTube, subscribers, I guess. But I appreciate all of you guys for helping us spread this message and helping us grow this community. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Now, let's get into the news, okay? So, breaking, we have Donald Trump is suing Hillary Clinton over Russian collusion allegations. So the world stage activities continue on. Let's check it out. Joe Biden is predicting food shortages in the United States. You read that right. Nice job, big guy. Now, this is coming from Jim Rickards, and this is getting reported out of townhall.com. Biden warns Americans a food shortage is coming. I hope you guys have a plan. Continuing on, understand that when the lights go out, that it will be all done by design, planned long ago. A global cyber attack doesn't just happen. It will literally have to be a coordinated plan with more than just one country involved. There isn't some giant modem sitting in a warehouse somewhere that they can just turn off. Remember that when they try to blame Russia. So we have to understand that we're in false flag season right now. We are in false flag season right now, and this thing's picking up. Check it out. Putin must have read my book, Currency Wars. This is coming from Jim Rickards. So it is being reported that Putin has just announced that gas payments from non-friendly countries will now be required to be made in rubles. But he didn't just stop there. Russia is actively exploring accepting Bitcoin for natural resource purchases, according to Pavel Zavolany, chairman of the country's Congressional Energy Committee. Now, they're also... that didn't mean to go there. Let's go here. Russia will allow unfriendly countries to pay for natural gas in gold. So they're looking at exploring Bitcoin. They're looking at exploring gold. They're looking at only taking rubles. They are done with American dollars, with with the USD, and they're done with the euro. Okay, and we've been talking about this for a while. The currency war is live. Check it out. UK's Boris Johnson says there is evidence that Russia is trying to get around sanctions using gold. For years, Russia and China have been stockpiling gold. Leaders should have paid more attention. This is coming from Gold Telegraph. Now, folks, get ready for this Bitcoin narrative because you guys are already seeing it. One Bitcoin transaction, this was reported from the New York Times just a couple days ago. One Bitcoin transaction takes as much energy as a household uses for over 2 months. And then when they get to blame everything on Russia too, right? So we have them saying that they're skirting sanctions with gold, skirting it with Bitcoin, and now they're only accepting rubles, Bitcoin, or gold for their natural resources. Meanwhile, here in America, the U.S. Treasury is trying to auction off $47 billion in 7-year notes, $51 billion in 5-year notes, $50 billion in 2-year notes, and $48 billion in 6-month bills, along with $57 billion in 3-month bills. You combine this with the Fed, who's trying to offload their balance sheet, which grew, I think it went up over 9 trillion. It might be at 10 or 11 trillion now. But after the events of March 2020, that basically allowed the Fed to ramp things up. They were at about 4 or 5 trillion for their balance sheet, and that's treasury notes like this, that's mortgage-backed securities. Now Trump made it so that they could actually purchase corporate bonds as well. So it really just allowed them to prop up the whole thing and keep this thing from going bust. And now here, the Treasury is going to be auctioning off these T-notes. Who's the buyer? That's the question. Who's the buyer, right? So meanwhile, you have the rest of the world ditching the US dollar, ditching the SWIFT payment system, and no longer buying our Treasury notes. Here in America, we've now gone on auction. That tells you where we're at here in America. I hope you guys have a plan. Now, this is breaking news out of Gold Telegraph. UBS and Credit Suisse have made further progress in how they would stabilize and restructure themselves in a financial crisis. So what do we talk about? Reset, restructure, revaluation. This is the year for this moment. So we've been talking about this one for a while, and now we're getting reports that these major financial institutions are preparing themselves to restructure and stabilize during the coming financial crisis. Going in talking about real estate here, this is coming from George Gammon. Rents increased 17%, home prices increased 19%, yet according to CPI, housing only increased 4.3%. Do you still trust the government? So we've been talking about this, how the mortgage rates already started to climb even before the Fed did this initial rate hike. Now, they've said that they've basically locked in another like 6 rate hikes or whatever over the next 6 meetings. We'll see what happens. Just a year or two ago, they were saying that there was not going to be any rate hikes until 2024, and now obviously they've reversed course on that. So they're known to lie to us about what they're actually going to be doing, but if we take them at their word, they're telling us that the rates are going to continue to increase. But we combine this with what's happening here on Main Street, which is they're telling us that CPI is only 4.3%, the housing CPI, and then they're telling us that the overall CPI is only 8%. If you look at the real CPI data, how they used to calculate it back in the 70s and 80s, it would be probably over 15% from many estimates. But clearly, we are over 15% or more because rents have increased 17%, home prices have increased 19%. We covered how the average median house in America is now over $500,000. Okay, and this is also fascinating. Homes earned more for owners than their jobs last year. The U.S. economy is completely dependent on asset bubbles. That doesn't end well, especially now that we have raising rates. This is the Federal Reserve essentially pricking the bubble, popping the bubble. Where this ends, it's going to be a rough ride. That's for sure. It's going to be a rough ride. So I hope you guys have a plan. Okay, now continuing on, Bank of England, crypto has the potential to reshape the traditional financial sector. Go figure. Now remember, this Bank of England, this is how they play this game. They come late to the party and they say, oh yeah, this is great technology. This could really change things up. We're looking into it. We're running proof of concepts. Meanwhile, they already did the test with Ripple XRP back in 2018, and they've already piloted the XRP ledger. That's Bank of England. That's the original central bank, one of the first ones in the world, Bank of England. Excuse me. So this is what we're seeing across the board. I mean, I could show you about a dozen articles that are similar to this. Major Wall Street firms getting ready, all of the big trading houses offering Bitcoin spot trading. All of the news is coming. They're looking at the metaverse, this and that. They've had a plan for this rollout, for this destruction of the current system and the rollout to the new one for years. Many of you guys who are listening to my channel already understand that. You're already tapped in. But thank you so much for coming in here. Before we head on out, at the time of this recording, XRP is trading at 84 cents. We've nearly broke through 85 cents here, but this is the daily chart kind of zoomed out. As you guys have seen that we've completely broken through this, broken out of this wedge. So we'll see where we go from here. The narrative is set. Bitcoin pumped up to about 44,200 on the news that came out today about Bitcoin being used by Russia. But this is the perfect catalyst for one last final pump before they have to drop regulations because Russia's skirting sanctions with Bitcoin, because no one's going to buy their treasury bonds anymore, because they can't print any more money. I mean, the party's up, right? The punch bowl is empty. It's time for everyone to go home. And some people ain't going to make it home. This is the end, right? And so during this time, we're going to see major financial restructuring. A new system is prepared to be rolled out, but the way that they operate is order out of chaos. So the chaos comes from the destruction that we are now living through this time. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you guys. If you could please share this message with other like-minded individuals, smash that thumbs up for me, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we're going live. We're going to continue to try to bring the important updates on current events, cryptocurrencies, and help you guys prepare for the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. If you do want access to our exclusive Discord group, I'm going to be dropping my quarterly report. This is going to be quarter one for 2002. I'm going to be dropping my quarterly report this Saturday, exclusive for my Discord members. And so if you want to get access to that, access to the group of other like-minded individuals who are preparing themselves for this moment in time, we want to survive and thrive. We got the strategies that we're executing on right now, and you can get in a group where we can speak uncensored, unfiltered. I did already get my first warning here on YouTube, so we're going to be careful with the censorship, careful what we talk about. As always, thank you. We will see you in the next one. Take care, and God bless.